Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the hashtag
TFR
Motivation Monday Zoom. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles. We are your weekly hosts, and we have a special guest tonight.
Woohoo!
What better way to start off the 1st of November, where November, the month of gratitude, than with the gratitude guru himself.
Seriously.
So before we get to our amazing guest holding in the wings right now, we want to make sure that we share with you guys this amazing YouTube channel that we have. Tell them about it.
It's pretty amazing.
Come on down. Tell them about
It's pretty amazing. But this is where you can go and you can find all of the past TFR calls that we've done, the trainings, the webinars, all of the information that we've uploaded as a support to you. Just go to Team Freedom Reigns on YouTube. Please make sure that you subscribe, but don't stop there. Make sure that you ring the bell and then ask to be notified whenever we upload new content. We don't do it every day. It's like one time a week. You can handle that notification, but we don't want you to miss out on the information that we're going to be bringing you. So we've started a new thing with the TFR calls. What we're doing is during the day on Monday, I go live in the Team Freedom Reigns Facebook page with all of the announcements that need to be known for the week so that we don't take up the time here on this call, because we want to get right to our meat and potatoes. And tonight it's a special guest. So we're super excited about this guest that we're going to have here. Dondi mentioned that it is the 1st of November. And the 1st of November, I mean, normally we think November, we think Thanksgiving, right? Well, Thanksgiving is one day. And this is something that we should actually be practicing on a daily basis. And we have had the honor of getting to know this gentleman as being part of the team, obviously, but as a friend and having collaborated on some other projects together as well around the gratitude movement. So I want to share with you a little bit about Noah, okay? So Noah is an internationally known gratitude coach, speaker, course creator, poet, and founder of the Discover Gratitude movement. He has been a practitioner of grateful living and mindfulness for over 35 years and holds a master's in arts and social science with a concentration in gratitude and transformative learning from Antioch University. He has coached, mentored, trained, and developed thousands of community leaders, colleagues, and entrepreneurs in a diverse group of organizations, and has also created gratitude community building and wellness coaching programs with national and international educational organizations. And I could actually go on and on and on about Noah, because 35 years, I mean, he's only like 40, if that, right? So I don't know if he's even 40, but, we are so honored. And we knew that because gratitude is such a huge thing and it's so important. And we didn't know how important it was until we started talking to Noah about this. And there's science behind it. And he has studied it. He's actually brought a lot of great information into this universe of gratitude. And so we just thought, Noah would be perfect to start the month off and help us get into a practice of gratitude instead of only focusing on it on Thanksgiving. Is there anything else you want to add before we bring Noah in?
I didn't really even know there was a such thing as a gratitude guru until we met Noah and spent some time with him and just listened to his incredible background and how long he has been practicing grateful living and mindfulness. And it's just incredible. You're about to just be blown away. So I highly encourage you to grab a pen and paper if you haven't already. Get ready to be taking some serious notes and get ready to be moved to your core. So we are just so blessed and honored to welcome to you guys, Noah G. Press McIntyre, the gratitude guru. Would you please join us, Noah?
Yes. Hi, Noah.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, it's so great to see you. It's so great to be with you. And I'm really excited to be doing this on the 1st day of November. The timing couldn't be better. This is like divine right timing for us to be together and starting off the month of Thanksgiving and really learning how we can practice true Thanksgiving, not just on one day, not just on one meal, not just showing up, being nice for the family and then going home, but how do we make this part of every moment of our lives? So I wanted to share with you what are the gratitude practices that have been making such a difference for myself, my family, my team, in our relationship with you, Dondi, with you, Marcy. And to start that off, I wanted to let you know that every gratitude gathering like this starts either with a prayer or setting a good intention. So I wanted to just give everyone a moment to take a deep breath and just set an intention for this moment, for this day, for this month of Thanksgiving. And if you think of the word Thanksgiving, just take a moment and see what feeling comes to you, what feeling comes to your heart. When you think of gratitude, who is one person that comes to your mind? And just allow that feeling, that person, that experience, maybe it's a place where you feel most grateful, just to come into your mind and your heart and your spirit. And with that, I would love it if you are taking notes to write that down. Actually take a moment and write down, who is it that you thought of when you thought of gratitude? What's the feeling that you have when you think of Thanksgiving? We can do this with one person, and we can do this with another person and another person, and we can touch so many people's lives in the spirit of Thanksgiving today, tomorrow, this month, and for the rest of our lives. And I think the important thing to keep in perspective here is because so much of the mission of LifeVantage is about what legacy we leave. I want everybody to remember, every time you express gratitude to another person, you're actually leaving a legacy of love with that person. In that moment, they will experience your love, and you're leaving your legacy of love with that person. Every conversation with a friend, a family member, a customer, a business partner, a prospective customer, a prospective business partner, every time you find a way to give thanks for them in a new way, you're actually leaving a legacy of love with that person. So we often think of in network marketing, oh my gosh, did I make my 10 contacts? Did I reach 20 people today? Is my team hitting their goals for the month? For the year, am I getting to the next promotion? Am I a pro 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yet? That's all well and good. But the things that get us there are taking the moments of Thanksgiving to really focus on the moment. So let me give you an example of this. And I'm going to start by doing it with you, Marcy, as an example of how everybody can do it with someone in their circle, in their team, in their community, in their life. And then we're going to flip it back, because what I give thanks for about you is also something that I could look in the mirror and give thanks for about myself. And it's important to make this connection as we practice gratitude. So I am super grateful that you, Marcy, put yourself on YouTube, however many years ago it was, when you were making those videos in your car, sharing the message of LifeVantage, sharing your message of hope, sharing the possibility of freedom with those of us who may not have met you yet, but we're getting to know you. And because you put yourself out there, you gave me hope as a young entrepreneur to keep going, to keep finding a way to mix family and entrepreneurship, because you were putting the example of how you do that in the public. You've been doing that for years. And I know that you have an incredible partner at your back all the time. But I'm focusing on you right now. And I want to say thank you for the courage that it takes to turn on the YouTube in your car and make videos, because it really does take something in those moments. So when you express your courage, you make me feel more courageous. And as a result, I get to know that I can be grateful for my own courage as well. Okay. Now that's my expressing gratitude to you. And if we each did that once a day for the next month, we would be leaving 30 different legacies of love, having a ripple effect in the form of a conversation, a letter, a visit. I'll give you an example. I believe that at the core of why the most important people in my life, my sponsor, my up team, my down team, my side team, are in LifeVantage, is because of the legacy we want to leave. It's not just for the living of this moment, but it's also for what's the story, what's the ripple effect that we're going to leave here when we're not here in the physical form anymore. And so when you think about gratitude, and I'm going to get kind of deep here because I think that we're in a relationship business, so it's important to talk about the fundamentals of relationship. One of the most challenging things that you, particularly Marcy, know better than anyone, given the podcast that we just recorded, is how you use gratitude to help yourself deal with a parent who's coming towards the end of their life. So my father passed on and transitioned into heaven back 4 years ago. The one thing I am most thankful for that I did was I wrote him a letter of all the things that I was grateful for about him, about the kind of father he had been, about the kind of businessman he had been, about the kind of grandfather he had been. I took 3 pages and I just made the longest list I could possibly make. And I went to his bedside and I read him the letter. And I read it to him. And then we had this moment where we didn't know what to say. We had no idea what to talk about. We were just in that moment. And you'll appreciate this because in that moment, we turned to each other and we said, what is this feeling that we have after reading this letter? We said, we don't know. So let's pray about it. So we're praying about it at his bedside. And then he turns to me, he says, Noah, this is grace. This is the experience of grace. This is actually the feeling. This is what grace feels like. So gratitude is probably, I believe, the most clear path to not just grateful living, but graceful living. If you want to live gracefully, now that means like being the peace in the midst of a storm. It's not, gracefully doesn't always mean easy or feeling good. But when you want to live gracefully, you practice gratitude. One of the best ways to do that is to actually write gratitude letters to the people in your life that you care about the most. You write down everything you're grateful for about them. You send them the letter, you read them the letter, you visit with them around the letter, and you will have no regrets in that relationship. And that was the thing that I was looking for with my dad, was so that no matter what happened, no matter when he passed on, no matter when he went to heaven, I would have no regrets. Now, what would it be like if every one of our core team members, the people we're locking arms with and building this legacy with, you actually wrote that letter to? And what if around the holidays, particularly around this time when a lot of people, particularly with the isolation that's going on, with people not being able to see each other in person as much because of the craziness that's going on in the world, what if we made that extra push as a LifeVantage family to get the gratitude out there and make sure that every person that we're connected with feels that connection that comes when you let someone know how thankful you are for them, the way I did with my father, the way Marcy and I just did with each other here on video. Those are powerful. Those are the kinds of things that lock in relationships for life. And it's important that we realize that while all of this is like, feels good, it sounds good, it's powerful, like I definitely feel like there's this very, very strong message coming through what we're talking about now. This is also really, really good for our health. And it's like the soul food, you know, if Axio is our drink, right? And we have our activators, it's like, I call them my gratitude pill. I call it my gratitude drink because it actually wakes up the physical body. We've talked about this, to feel the effects of the dopamine, the serotonin, the norepinephrine, the endorphins. It's all so connected. When we activate our bodies, it will enable us to share our gratitude with people even more because you're awake to that. You're feeling good in your body. You're able to focus on other people and what they care about. Here's the thing, though, about gratitude that a lot of people get tripped up on, particularly in our culture. People think that it's better to give thanks for others than it is to give thanks for themselves. So the important thing about this whole process is that you allow yourself to receive at the same time as you're giving, that you're freely giving and you're freely receiving. It's that back and forth that allows us to receive the gift of the abundance with the opportunity that we have at our hands here. So as you're sharing what you're thankful for, keep your eyes and ears and heart open to what people might say back to you. I always have to be conscious. If I'm saying, Marcy, you're so courageous the way you put yourself out there for us in service of this team, I'm saying thank you to that in you, but I also need to know that that's a reflection of what I see in myself as well. So there's always that connection around gratitude, and there's always the willingness and the need to be able to give it and receive it. Okay, that's a really, really important thing to keep in mind. A lot of people, like at home, virtually raise your hand if you might have a hard time receiving compliments. That's a good sign that you could practice having someone maybe in your team share what they're grateful for with you. So you appreciate them, they appreciate you. It's a really good practice. I also find that when I'm having some sort of conversation to reach out to people about business, something important, a project, an entrepreneurial endeavor, it could be a spiritual event, whatever that might be that you want to bring people along with you and get the good message out, it's really helpful to start the conversations with something that you appreciate about them. It makes the space for them to hear what the opportunity is that you're bringing in the space of the gratitude and appreciation. So what might that look like? It could be sending a gratitude card and a gift to people you've either already spoken to about the business or the products and the services as a way of saying, hey, thank you for spending your precious time with me. I'm always here for you as a resource. Let people know that you're grateful for them and their health and their well-being, and that that's important to you. The other piece, a lot of people get lost in gratitude. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. And then we forget to talk about our goals. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm so satisfied. But we also need to remember the things that we're not grateful for will keep us going too. The things that we're not satisfied about, the things that we need to stand up and say, no, the world needs to shift in this direction where we're on a mission around something as well. It's not just everybody come together, hold hands and feel good. That's important to keep yourself sane and going in the midst of a very insane and tumultuous world where we're trying to bring in this new possibility of people from all different backgrounds working together and being healthy together. So how do you do that with the goals? Just imagine a goal, like just take a moment, write down a goal. Think about something that you want to accomplish. It could be the trip. It could be a person's life you want to transform. It could be a health goal that you have. And take a moment and imagine that that's happening right now. You're in Croatia. Let's just say you're in Croatia right now. Let's just go to Croatia in our mind and we'll be there right now. Okay, what are you grateful for in Croatia in this moment? Allow yourself to just be in Croatia. You're overlooking the beautiful landscapes, the beautiful water, all the beautiful people around you. What are you grateful for? What can you imagine yourself feeling grateful for in the future right in this moment? I like to call this, and I should probably have this trademarked, but I like to call this quantum gratitude, where you actually experience gratitude in the future, in the past, all right now. And the more we can tap into that feeling, I mean, this is right out of Think and Grow Rich, the science of being rich. I mean, this is like at the core of our personal development here. When you actually can feel that feeling, that vision happening right now, that's where the gratitude lies. But we can do that with our goals by bringing the experience of our goals into our heart, into our body, into our mind right now in the moment. There's some images that you might be most grateful for. Maybe walking hand in hand on that beach in Croatia with your sweetheart. That could be a moment of gratitude that you just keep visualizing and you keep visualizing and you keep visualizing. So there's a lot of different ways to give thanks here. And I wanted to kind of share the range of ways to practice gratitude and all the pieces of what we're doing in LifeVantage, as well as how that has a ripple effect with what we do outside of LifeVantage, and how what we do in LifeVantage can have a positive effect on people outside of the community during these holidays.
That was absolutely amazing, Noah. And by the way, I do put that right back to you. Everything that you said to me, I am so grateful. First of all, I am grateful for your smile. I am grateful for how you smile all the way up into your eyes because it's real and it's true. You are so authentic, transparent, and vulnerable in the way that you share your life and your stories. I am so grateful for your willingness to come on here tonight and share your experience and your knowledge about gratitude and the impact that we can be making. You know, I absolutely love what you said, a legacy of gratitude, that we can be changing the world as we're changing the world. I love the idea of gratitude notes every single day in the month of November, and maybe making that a habit that we continue throughout the year. I think that would be fabulous if we all did that. And I love that idea. Thank you so much for that. And I love, yes, you should totally trademark that quantum gratitude. Because that is amazing. I mean, when you were talking about, you know, being on the beach with your sweetheart, you know, being in Croatia and just seeing it, hearing it, smelling it, feeling it, all of it right now for the future just makes it even that much more real. I could go on and on and on about what I loved with what you just said here today, but I also want to say how grateful I am that you were so willing to change the plans that you had tonight to be able to come on and to be able to share this. I would actually like to invite the people that are on the call with us live, whether you're on Zoom or Facebook, please put something in the comment section, what you're grateful for, either that it was stirred up inside of you as Noah was talking, or something that you're grateful for something that Noah said, and maybe even being grateful for Noah being here. Share something in the comment section that you've just had bring up into your heart and into your soul about gratitude. What would you like to add in on that? Because that was so amazing.
I think there was something I read this morning on Facebook, a post that a woman made, and it was, I'll try to paraphrase as best I can. It said, if you see somebody doing something awesome, make sure to stop and comment on it, because it'll only take a second, but that second that you spend could literally change their entire life.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, sometimes I get in the attitude of gratitude, but I make it so complex. Like, to actually thank somebody, I'm thinking in my head, I have to write them an entire novel, where I could just say, you know what, thank you for your smile, it brightened my day today.
Yes.
Maybe that's the exact simplistic, very short note that they needed. And I get in my own way. Well, I have the heart and I have the desire to do it, but sometimes I overanalyze things and make it too complex. And I love what you said about when we interact with somebody, we're literally leaving with them a legacy of love energetically when we come from a pure place. So just thank you for making it so simple. And the challenge, I definitely will accept that challenge of doing something every single day to extend gratitude for people, because there's so many people that I feel it, but it's when it comes around to letting them know I feel it. The thing that I read this morning, it only takes a second or maybe 5 seconds or whatever the case may be. If I dictate it, maybe even less. But taking the challenge to do that. So thank you, Noah, for your transparency, and thank you for being somebody who studies gratitude so deeply, because it takes somebody like you to impact somebody like me who's very analytical to be able to listen to what you're saying in its simplicity and take ownership of that. So thank you for the huge transformation you just gave me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. And, you know, I want to let you know, I have my hands on my heart. And one of the things that I have shared with you, Marcy and Dondi, in our podcast that we did back in July, is this practice. It's from the Heart Math Institute, and it's called the Heart Lock-In Technique. So it doesn't just have to be gratitude. It could be courage. It could be kindness. It could be any type of value or principle or virtue that you're wanting to bring into your life, into your family, your relationships, into your business. Just imagine that word for 5, 10, 15 minutes. You hold your hand on your heart, and there is such an intelligence. We know there's a brain in the heart now, that there's an energetic field that radiates out from the heart. People can literally feel how your heart feels when they get in your presence. You can do this on Zoom. It takes a little bit more energy, but when we're back in rooms more and more with each other, we'll definitely be able to feel this. but the resonance of our heart is very powerful. And it's one of the most important gratitude practices. And you think about everything from the omegas that we offer people and how that takes care of our heart, as well as the gratitude. Anything you're struggling with over the coming days and weeks and months ahead, any challenges, imagine putting those into your heart and holding your heart and letting it melt away. My spiritual teacher, Sai Ma, she's a great teacher, and she has this practice where we imagine the challenges in our lives, anything that we might be struggling with, you put it in your heart and you let it melt away. And I think that, when you keep going and you're unstoppable, like this team is, it really helps to have these practices to keep us going and being resilient and restoring our energy so we can go out taking care of our self-care with all the amazing products we have here in the community, and then reaching out to another person, one more person, celebrate that person, who's next, celebrate that person, give thanks for that person, who's next, one person at a time. Heck, you could make video and audio for lots of people the way both of you do. So there's so many different ways to touch each other in this very, very important time of year. And I'm just so grateful to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's such a joy and really a dream come true.
No, well, it was definitely our honor to be able to have you on to share you with this team and to share you with the world, really, because you are so special, Noah. And just so you know, when you were talking about the letter that you wrote for your dad and how you explained it as him saying that it was feeling of grace, it's a feeling of acceptance. It's a feeling of being seen. And that just touched me so strongly, that feeling of grace. So thank you so much for that feeling of grace that you gave me earlier in this call. And I just pray that everybody feels that acceptance and feels that they are seen and that they are important and that they are loved, because that's what this call is all about, is helping people to understand that, how they can practice it and how they can help other people feel the same way. We are so grateful for you, Noah. Thank you so very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those of us who follow each other on Facebook, Marcy and Dondi know Discover Gratitude. The group is open to everybody. And it's a special place because we're promoting the things that unify us and bring us together in the group. And that's what LifeVantage does. And that's what this team does. So I just want to make sure everybody feels welcome there, and we'll keep supporting each other and practicing our gratitude, one moment, one day, one person at a time. Thank you.
Yes, yay. So just so everybody knows, we love you and we are so grateful for every single one of you. We are grateful that you show up every single day, first for yourself, for your family, for the world, for this team. We are grateful that you have a greater vision of your life than where you're at right now, and that you have a vision of not just going along this path by yourself, but in grabbing and locking arms with other people around you, people that you know and people that you have not even met yet. We are so grateful for your hearts. We are grateful for your passion, your compassion, and your empathy that you have for others. And we are so grateful to be on this journey with every single one of you. So happy November 1st, the first day of this gratitude month. And yet let's just turn it into every single day needs to be a gratitude day. And thank you for showing us how to do that so well, Noah. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, actually, if you don't mind, I have a question for you.
Yes, please.
I was just reading some research done at Yale University on the question of, are human beings naturally good or bad? And when this question was posed to these researchers, they said it's next to impossible to answer the question because of inherent bias and taught bias and prejudices and those types of things. And they thought the only way to be able to do that is to get to human beings before they learn or are taught biases and prejudices and judgments. So babies. And they did research on babies and discovered that when babies who don't have any biases, they don't have any prejudices, they don't have any aversions to anything, they're just so pure and natural to the source, they were proven through this scientific protocol of looking at things as far as helpers and hindering shapes, and they didn't take on human characteristics, but they were observing a shape. They used a square, a triangle, and a circle. And when a shape was trying to do something and the other shape tried to impede it, that the children didn't want that. And they would reach for the one that was the helper. So they were saying innately and at our core, human beings are good. And so based on that, I wanted to, as a father, I remember distinctly both of my kids between 18 months and 2 years, when they would do something, they'd say, "Daddy, look at me, look at me, look at me." And they weren't arrogant. They didn't have egos. They weren't doing it in anything to show off. They were just when they felt so connected to what they were doing, they wanted an observer, their dad, and say, "Daddy, look at me." And I think that's what gratitude, in essence, it satisfies a basic human need that we have to be recognized in our purity, not for our accomplishments or not to be arrogant or not for pride or ego, just to know that we're there and that we're accepted and that we're great. How would you say that rings true? A young child saying, "Daddy, look at me," without any arrogance or bragging or anything, that just wanting to be seen by the person that they feel safe in their presence and secure with.
Absolutely, Dondi. And absolutely, like infinity times over. That is so important. And it really does get at, the inherent goodness that we do have, and how important it is to build communities and families where it's possible for the kids to go to the daddy the way you were able to be there for your kids. It's really important that people are able to have the opportunity to create their families as a safe entrepreneurial learning community, that kind of space that's possible with what we're doing here, and to bring families into the home together to create that loving environment. There's so much about what you shared that's connected to building families full of love, full of gratitude, and learning together in business, in entrepreneurship, that becomes even more and more possible the more we do what we do. So I love that image of you and all the families that will, be positively touched by the conversation tonight and the work that we do for, the days and months and years ahead. So thank you for bringing that up. That was beautiful.
Mm.
Oh, and thank you for your answer and confirming what I was suspecting when Marcy was asking you that question, because that is like, oh my gosh, that is just in its purest form. And we are trying to do more and more of that with all of you. And Noah, thank you again for just accepting our invitation to be here on November 1st, the month of gratitude, to share your absolutely wonderful message. And for every single member of Team Freedom Reigns, we are so grateful for you.
Yes.
Because it is a team, but it is a family, it is a culture, it is a tribe, it is a community, and it's a village. And we love every single one of you and the diversity that you bring, the individual things that you bring, because we are so much better as a collective, and we can impact the world so much deeper and greater as a collective. So thank you all for being here. Noah, thank you so much for your tremendous amount of knowledge and wisdom behind this, and for who you are as a person. You are an absolute gem, my friend.
Oh, thank you so much. And, we invest in each other. This is how this community works. You spent many hours over the last 5 years investing in the health of myself and my family. And it's like we're growing something here that's very special, that'll nurture people for many years to come. And I think that the thing I just want to add to what you said about the daddy and the kid is that if for some reason that did not happen for a kid in that way, we can do that now as adults. And the way we do it is you get 2 or more people together and you drink some Axio, feel really good, and you ask each other, what are you grateful for? And then you do what Marcy and I did at the beginning of this call, is you actually acknowledge that person for who they are. And what that does, both in my research, because I did this with hundreds and hundreds of people over the last 500 days in our gratitude groups, as you know, but also just it brings back that experience of being seen and known and heard and loved. We can tap into that 18-month possibility that exists in each of us by sitting together and actually giving thanks for one another, telling each other on a daily basis or whatever it takes that I appreciate you for being on my team. You appreciate me for being on your team. We can bring that 18-month spirit out in each other at any moment and have that be the energy with which we grow this team and our business. So I'm glad you brought that image to mind. And I want to make sure that we practice that every day, so that that inner 18-month-year-old, that energy comes out and grows the business. You know what I'm saying? So that's very connected. Thank you. Thank you, Dondi.
That's beautiful.
Yes,
I
thank you so
absolutely
much.
love that. All right. So we just want to just hug you right now.
Yes.
Can't wait to be in your presence. So everybody just wrap your arms around yourself and just give yourself a great big hug.
Mm.
And just imagine yourself being hugged.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. Just feel that, because we love you. We appreciate every single one of you. And we are just grateful. And I think that's where it can just end right there. We're just grateful.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah.
So much.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for being together. What a precious gift.
Yes. Thank you, Noah, so very much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And if you're watching this as a replay, we love you just as much, and we're just as grateful for you. And let's just lock arms, and let's remember to tell each other why we are so grateful about each other. And then remember that what we say about them is also something we need to be grateful for ourselves. Thank you for that reminder, Noah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Our gratitude cups are overflowing. Thank you
Yes.
so much.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Have
Cheers.
a great night, everybody. Yes. Cheers. All right. We love you. Have a great
Bye-bye,
night, everybody. God
everybody.
bless.
God bless.